Hey, welcome back to the Collective Online Experience, and it's been a few weeks because we had 2 weeks off for the Sunday before and after spring break, and so we're getting back in it now. And to kind of explain to you what we're leading up to, this is all kind of in preparation for how we're going to be looking at our Easter celebration as a church. And so today we are going to look at the days leading up to Jesus and what he did on the cross. We'll be looking at the Saturday and Sunday and Monday. And then next week on our online experience, we'll be looking at Tuesday and Wednesday. And then those of you that are in small groups on Sunday, April 10th, which is next Sunday, we'll be looking specifically at the significance of the Passover. And if you're not involved in a small group yet, then we want to provide something for your family to do, so you're doing the same thing that our groups will be doing, and love for you to do that on Sunday night as well, or any day of the week preparing. And then Friday, April 15th, we're going to take the Passover meal as a church together at it's not a normal gathering, but we're going to be coming together on Friday, April 15th, and then that's going to be at 6 p.m. And then on Sunday, April 17th, we are going to have our monthly gathering as our Easter celebration that will be at the normal time at 5 p.m. So we're doing several things kind of as a church walking into this season, and want you to be a part of, as much as you can be a part for sure. And in the email is the information on times and dates and locations and all that kind of stuff. But I'd really love to know, like, take Christmas and Easter and July 4th out. And what do you have left? If you take Christmas, Easter, July 4th out, what do you have left that could potentially be your favorite holiday? There's Halloween, there's President's Day, there's Martin Luther King Day, there's Columbus Day, there's Arbor Day, and there's Labor Day, there's Memorial Day. There's all different kinds of things. Now, the other are kind of the big three, but I wonder, when you think about holidays, like, what is your prep time looking like leading up to the holiday? What do you have, like, traditions and significant things that family do around certain holidays? There are some holidays that are bigger than others. Some holidays that we decorate for and we do all the kind of festive things. Some holidays that definitely bring out pumpkin and pumpkin spice and that for that time of the year. But when you think about the way that you get ready for holidays, there's probably something that is brewing inside of your brain of what that's like for you to get ready and to be prepared for that. Christmas is one of those ones that's really easy for me. I mean, we celebrate the birth of Christ. We celebrate the time that we get together as family. It's about presents and giving. When it's not about Jesus, we're about presents and giving and traveling and fun and all these new experiences and new things and sometimes even new places and all that kind of stuff. Like, just the prep time sometimes is almost as fun as the actual thing. We have parties that we'll do before Christmas. July 4th is an incredible holiday. There is not always a ton of lead up time. It's just kind of about that day. And then you get Easter, and there can be lead up in church world and stuff like that, but there's usually not a lot of Easter parties. There's usually not a lot of lead up. There's not a lot of secular Easter songs that we hear on the radio and things like that. There's not there's no famous songs like All I Want for Easter Is. We just don't have that same relationship with Easter as we do some of these other holidays. And Easter for me is definitely one of those holidays it's weird for me in some respects, because I know that growing up, so for me, and just my experiences growing up in church, Easter was a day that we always got one brand new outfit. And so growing up, we didn't get a lot of new clothes. We got what we needed, but it wasn't always like just everything that we wanted. But man, it was Easter, then it was always either going to be a very nice shirt and tie and very nice slacks and usually new shoes. For some reason, we never got new socks. Or when I was younger, like, my mom would make me a suit. And I mean, just the whole thing, the vest, the whole deal. And that always kind of bothered me because I don't like dressing up, but there was a little bit of that. And so Easter was the Easter bunny at times. Easter was candy that I got on Easter morning. Easter was a brand new outfit, and Easter was special things that we did at church. But Easter has always been a harder holiday for me to engage with than, say, Christmas. Maybe it's because Christmas is more of a season and Easter just feels like it's just really about that day, even though we do other things in churches leading up. Easter's also been difficult for me because at Christmas, it's all about excitement. Even just like the birth of Christ. Well, obviously that is a happy occasion. There was some darkness happening in the world what Jesus was born into, but the fact that Jesus was born, man, we're super excited about that. Easter's a little bit different for me as we're walking toward it, because I really am not sure what emotions I'm supposed to experience walking toward Easter. Am I supposed to be sad because just the brutal nature of the punishment that Jesus took? Am I supposed to be excited because of obviously what his death, burial, and resurrection means for me, for my everyday, and for eternity? Am I supposed to be sorrowful and super somber, or am I supposed to like go around being super excited? The thing that would be weird is, when we talk about the death, burial, and resurrection, that you're screaming and yelling and all that kind of stuff, like you're at a football game or a basketball game. So Easter's always been difficult for me because emotionally, I've never felt incredibly sad by the Easter holiday, and yet at the same time struggle to have those same joyous feelings that I do at Christmas. So just transparently and confessionally just say, Easter's always been one of those really difficult holidays for me where I'm not sure the way that I'm supposed to engage it, and then it's here, and many times it's here and the holiday's gone, and then I'm right back into the next Monday, and that holiday hasn't stuck with me many times like some of the other holidays do. So I say that because today, as we look at some things, it's going to be not something where I'm going to read a verse to you. I'm going to just kind of talk through some things, even though we normally have like a verse or a passage that goes with it. Today is really going to be a lot more conversational, and the reason is because I just want us to really just kind of to have a dialogue, even though I'm here and you're watching this. Just really want to have an opportunity for us to engage kind of the heart, soul, mind of what it's like to walk toward this holiday. As we look at this Saturday and Sunday and Monday, just kind of look at a survey of what those 3 days was, as Jesus was walking into this place called Bethany. Jesus got to do some pretty cool things. Like he was able to be at this guy Simon. They call him Simon the leper in my Bible. Simon the leper. He was able to have his feet anointed, and Jesus even talked about the fact that the woman that was anointed, it was preparing him for his death. And it talks about how the disciples heard this message, but even being around Jesus for a while now, like they were kind of not fully understanding what this all meant. And then you've got on that Monday, you've got that Jesus coming into Jerusalem, and just what it meant for him to be coming in the way that he was coming in. We talked about it last year about just what that was like for him to come in on that animal, and just from a place, just as a king that was walking in, but also in this place of humility, and the fact that these pilgrims from all over would have been welcoming him in. And Jesus being fully God and Jesus being fully man, what's hard for me is the fully God part. There's no reason for me not to think that he was not fully aware of what he was walking to. And at the same time, how difficult would that be as a human being, fully human, to then experience the inner thoughts that we don't see recorded in Scripture, to experience what was happening in his whole his heart, soul, and mind, the invisible part of who Jesus was as a fully human person, of what it was like to experience that Saturday and Sunday of walking into Bethany and having his feet prepared and knowing what was happening, and having the disciples not really understand, and then actually coming into the city knowing what was happening. And we'll talk next week about what that Tuesday and Wednesday looked like, but just what this experience would have been like to prepare. What the experience would have been like to have this time that was looking towards something. And that's what I would really like to engage with and connect with as we talk today, which is, what is your preparation like as we head towards something that we've never done before as a church, as a Passover meal? It's traditionally something that's done by Jewish communities, and you don't always hear about that happening in Western churches and things of that nature. But as we look toward this Passover Friday that we're going to do as a church, having opportunities to talk about that on Sunday, April 10th, as we look toward an Easter celebration, how do you prepare for those encounters? How do you prepare for a holiday that in a evangelical Christian world is all about the death and burial and resurrection of our rescuer, of our Savior, Jesus? Like, how do we prep for that? Well, let me tell you how I prep for it. And traditionally, I don't. Traditionally, there's no preparation to get my heart, soul, mind prepared to walk into this time. It's really normally, man, I'm going to do my job to say what I need to say and to speak what I need to say and all that kind of stuff. But I rarely stop and truly try to connect my heart, my soul, and my mind to Christ, to God, to really connect with Him in a James 4:8 way, where I draw near to Him in preparation for this incredible time for us to come together as individuals in a church, this Passover and this Easter. And at the same time, what do I do? Understanding that He wants to draw near to me. And so there's this kind of weird polarizing thing happening, is that I've never really done a good job in preparing for Easter. I've never really thought and stopped to go, is my heart, my soul, and my mind ready to walk in, ready to think about what Jesus was encountering, ready to think about the inner dialogue that He could have had that we don't speak of, ready to think about that, what this last week would have been like for Jesus, what would have been like for Him to be preparing as a fully human person walking toward this. And then what is it like for me, knowing that has happened, knowing that I'm connected to that as a follower of Jesus? What is it like for me to prepare to engage this, to encounter this? When we started the Lord's Supper back in April of 2021, my biggest concern about doing it was I didn't know how it fit into the greater idea of who we were as a church. And then as we began to walk it, and even though we've kind of shifted and changed a little bit, is because we wanted to be connected to what that was. We wanted to be connected to how we remember. We wanted to be connected to Christ in that. And that every time that we take that, we want to take that time to come together and to connect as those that are taking it, with us, but also individually, and also connect to Jesus. And that's what I want us to do now. As we think about and we look at, and you can look back in some of the recordings in the Gospels about this Saturday, Sunday, and Monday kind of coming in these first 3 days, like the 6 days before we look at what Jesus did with His death on the cross. How are we going to respond? How are we going to connect? And so that's really the thought today, is how are we going to prepare our heart, our soul, our mind, the invisible parts of who we are, to engage on Friday, April 15th, and on Sunday, April 17th. And not that we are doing anything better than any other church, and not that we are doing anything even newer or new or out of or just strange or anything than some churches may do. What I want to challenge us to do is what I've not done most of my life, is to consider how I am preparing my heart, soul, mind to walk toward these 2 days that are going to help us connect with Jesus, help us remember what we're a part of and what we're connected to. And so really the whole point of today is just to get your brain engaged and what it's going to look like to prepare for these upcoming days that we're going to do as a church. As we look at what Jesus did in preparation for walking toward the cross. And we look at his Saturday, Sunday, and Monday just in a real brief overview, and next week we look at some of the other days. As we look at what he is doing in that idea of preparing, what he's going through to go, can we think about on our Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, tomorrow as a Monday, can we think about how we are going to connect our heart, soul, mind as we walk toward these days? What potentially is going to hinder connecting points? What's going to potentially hinder a heart connection, a soul connection, and a mind connection, to where maybe this Easter, that preparation changes the fact that Easter might just be a season, or Easter might just be a holiday, or even for me, a date on a calendar where maybe I dress up more, or a date on a calendar where we go out to eat at a nicer place. And maybe this Easter is something that's a connecting point to where as we walk forward past Easter, there's something that we've gotten to engage in the invisible part of who we are that sets us up to walk closer to him. You know, the lady that anointed Jesus' feet at Simon the leper's house, there was something about her connecting with that preparation that's special to me. To the fact that Jesus actually it verbalizes it. There's something about she was connected to his preparation. There was something about her that's like, I want to be around him and I want to be engaged in him now in this time. And I want that to be us. That we're engaged with Christ now in this time as we walk forward, wanting to be connected to him. So today in the chat, even though this has been a little bit of a different message, the point of this week and next week is just to kind of help get our brain shifted in a couple of different ways. And I'd love to have your thoughts on what we're going to talk about. I'd love to have your thoughts on kind of this idea of preparation walking forward, and love to ask you to help us. So as we look at this, I just want to challenge you in the chat today to help us do this thing better, to help us dialogue, and to look at this idea of preparation, of walking forward in our heart, soul, mind, getting ready for what's going to be coming up for Friday the 15th and Sunday the 17th. Listen, thank you so much for being a part of today. I'm excited about what is happening. And if you have any questions about how we are handling Easter or anything like that, feel free to email me. But go back and look at the email. It's got all the details on it. So thank you for being a part of today, and I can't wait to see you next Sunday. Have an incredible day.
You say just come to you, all who are weary, and you'll give me rest. You say just lean